Hi again, folks. Welcome to the Sabre Zone. This is the video which always discusses what you guys had to say. And I ran into a note. It was a doozy. It's a good one. And I'm going to start posting it so you guys can see it while I'm speaking about it. So there'll be a mini clip. Okay. And it's from Chad Cousins. He goes, I really hoped we'd see more of a physical game implemented here by Granato, but sadly, that just hasn't been the case. He seems to have this idea to let them do whatever they feel like, and clearly playing physical isn't what they feel like doing. Quite possibly the softest team I've ever seen. And Chad, I can't argue. I just can't argue with that one. It's a soft team. I would argue last year's softer. I would, but who cares? Who cares about that? The problem is that the hitting game has not been resolved. Let's face it here. It just hasn't been resolved, and we need this to get resolved soon if we're going to have any kind of good feeling about the years to come. I'm not good with this either, Chad. I am not good with a team that doesn't hit. I'm not. And when I watched the Bruins, look, the Bruins game, guys, is a perfect example of if we could have just been a real hard-ass team in that game, we would have won. We would have won. If we would have been hitting 35 hits, Montreal would have won that game. This year, Montreal would have won that game in Boston with that 3-1 lead. They would have won. They would have. Montreal hit. They're not scared to hit, and the Sabres are scared to hit. And this is an ongoing thing that's driving me nuts. It is. And I think it's not like I will take exceptional to saying that he lets them do what they want. No, what he's letting them do is just play the transition thing. But that's a cop-out to not playing hard-nosed hockey. It is. Too many fans today think that hockey is about the transition game. No, not this guy. No, it's part of it. Of course, it's part of it. I mean, we're the poster boys for it in 2006, let's face it. But the Sabres in 06 didn't shy away from laying the body when they had to either. We're missing that element. We are. And until the Sabres get that element in their game, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty spot on what you're saying here. Granato is teaching them the transition game. He's teaching them the puck control and all. I get that. I don't like what's going on inside our zone, though, with the transition game. I don't. We're always passing once too often in our zone. We're still doing it. We are still doing it. We're still making those mental errors. And then when I see Dahlin's starting to clear it, finally. Dahlin's starting to get the smarts that I'm not taking the rap for this, and he flips it out of the zone. Like, yes, please, just get it out of the zone sometimes. Stop with the, all these passes. And you guys see it. We pass it blindly, sometimes even in front of our net. We pass it blindly. No. There's got to come a time that in our zone, we're meaner than the team that's in our zone against us. If we can't do that physically, where do we expect this to go to? The Stanley Cup? Because it won't. No, you're right. We've got to get a hard-nosed team going with the transition game. I can understand the transition game's important, but it can't be your strategy to win games. Forget it. Forget it. You have more chance of just putting Rob Ray on the ice then to beat up everybody. Really? No. The transition game will go as far as your talent is, and we're not loaded there yet. We're too young. It's too soon for us to think we can outscore teams like Colorado in a best-of-7. Wouldn't make sense. Although Colorado, we'd have a chance because they don't hit either, honestly. Colorado's a really good team, but put them up against Tampa in the finals, forget it. Tampa's going to take them out, at least till Colorado change their attitude with the hitting. We'll have to see how that breaks down. I seen it last year. I had proof of this last year. Last year's playoffs, and Montreal played Vegas. And we all know Vegas is a better team than Montreal. We know. Montreal took them out and they took them out pretty convincingly. They really did. They took them out convincingly. There was no doubt that even if it went to a Game 7, that Montreal could still win this series. So Montreal did the same thing to Toronto, because Toronto's hitting game is soft. And Toronto's another team that I have my doubts about because of their hitting game. We'll have to see what they do, because Toronto right now is one of those teams I talk about, you notice, when it comes to the transition in the hitting game, because Toronto have all the weapons to go far, except the aggression. And when they thought they got Foligno and that was their answer last year, really? I mean, no. Now, they've got to get some sort of mean going on with their players, not just some guy. They got to get all their mean, and that's what we got to do. We got to have a team, I believe, that when they show up to play a game, hitting's just part of it. It's just part of it. It's like you're out there and a guy's near the boards, you take him out. It's just automatic. That's the way I used to play. You don't think about it. It's just part of the game. It's like roller derby. You're just out there. You hit everything in sight. So it concerns me too, Chad. It concerns me too, because if we don't get this right, if we really don't get this right soon, we're going to waste another era. Forget a year or two. We're going to waste another decade, and because we never had the right mentality. I mean, I don't know how Pagula, Adams, and Granato have not had this conversation. I'm guessing they've sat down and said, we got to hit more. I'm guessing. They can't be that stupid. I just don't think so. There's been I seen how hard that Adams hung on with Jack Eichel. The Jack Eichel deal is a perfect example how stubborn Adams can be. So I'm guessing if this has not been in their conversation, that they're just going to neatly evade it and not talk about it and never get it resolved and expect to win. We'd have to be the dumbest team in pro sports if we're, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So I'm guessing they've sat down, they've talked about this, they've looked at it and said, yes, this is part of the plan, but right now we want to work on this area a little more. But I do think getting some guys in there that are some bruisers would help, really. And to be honest, I've seen a bit of an edge in guys like, there's been some guys that I've seen some edge, like Olofsson is invisible when it comes to physical play. He's invisible. And this is my problem with him. Even Bryson. There's guys that it just drives me nuts because they're just not big enough to hit in their heads. I mean, tell that to Marcia. No. I mean, you got to have guys that just are willing to hit when they're out there all the time. And if you're hitting, I'm hitting. I'm motivated because I just seen you lay somebody out on the ice. I want to be the next guy to do that. And we got to get that kind of thinking going. Or else, yes, we're going to stay soft. And yes, we're going to continue losing a lot of games. It's kind of my take on it, guys. Really. It worries me. What he says, Chad, in that comment worries me a lot. It's something I don't talk about much, but it worries me a lot. It worries me that we're going to be always chasing games and always behind because we're just not playing physical ever, And I thought, I was going to say Tage. I thought Tage showed a bit of mean in him here and there, And Tage is a type of guy. If he ever became a real good power forward as well, he'd be a beast, this guy. Can you imagine if Tage Thompson got really mean as well as better with his hands? What we would have on our hands? We'd be laughing at St. Louis for making that deal eventually. We would be. That's how much potential's there. There is a lot of potential on this team. I just think, I don't want to say it, but Granato might not be the right guy to bring it out of them. Really, and I like Granato, but if he's going to let them be soft like this, and we're the worst hitting team in hockey. I don't know if you've seen my video on that. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died, so I have to throw in another one and continue the video. I'll just finish it up here. So, looking at this and really I'm trying to be cool about it, but it's driving me crazy too. I do want to say that. It's driving me nuts. I've had it with the softness as well. I've kind of given up, if you noticed in the videos. I don't even mention it no more. It's like the Boston game, 15 hits. I think that's what we had. It's like, yeah, I know they had 14, but they figure we're so soft that they can take a night off. Honestly, that's what they're thinking. And I hate that. So what if we wake them up? Bring it, you know? I wish the Sabres would have that mentality. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. It's just one of those things that till we get this resolved once and for all, we're kind of in limbo. We are kind of in limbo with this off thing, guys. I don't know what else to say about it but that. Really, every game I'm hoping for a 35, 30 hit effort, and I just never see it. It's rare when it does, you know? It's rare. Okay, that's it. Before this battery dies, I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. That's it for tonight. Now I want to wish you all a great night, and I will see you at some point in the afternoon tomorrow. Have a good one.